come to the microphones, I'm going to give this to this gentleman right in the middle and ask you just to open that and hold that to the audience. If you would show that to everybody. This is one of the posters that's for sale out in the lobby. And this is a picture of John in the middle looking right at the camera. What? Did you buy this? Yeah. With all three of you and a couple of your old bandmates. I know that, you know, this is your life that we're talking about for the past 50 plus years, and you've lived it. But from the perspective of this audience, Beatles fans, John Lennon fans, history fans, what goes, for any of you, what goes through your mind if you can remember back to that time and what has happened in the 50 plus years since this photo was taken? Any of you?
Well, I don't remember the sky being green in those days. What goes through my mind is what's all the fuss about? We're only out there having fun.
It was just a group of kids having fun. Is that what it was?
Well, that's what it's all about, yeah. And on the road to fame.
Sort of a pickup, almost like a pickup sports game of a group of teenage kids.
Well, it's two, wasn't it?
And now it's a group of old men having fun.
It hasn't changed much at all, has it?
We've got an excuse to have 3 weeks off.
The only difference is in those days we all used to chew chewing gum. And
chewing gum?
All right, you used to chew chewing gum.
You want a chewing gum type?
My fillings were loose. But they all used to chew chewing gum in time with the music, you know.
And would you say that the film is close enough to the truth? Do they take a lot of dramatic license?
Well, yes, it's close enough to the truth. It's not a documentary. It was never meant to be a documentary. And there are certain things that, well, probably any Beatles experts would be able to pick out. But overall, the overall feeling, I thought was pretty good. I thought Aunt Mimi was brilliant. You know, the actress that played Aunt Mimi.
Well, there's a guy called Pete Shotton that went to the original premiere in Liverpool, and of course I was close friends of mine. He said, afterwards the film, he said, Len, what was that all about? That's unreal. He was really, really moved. So, it's from Pete Shotton. I mean, you can't get any greater endorsement than that, I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, we feel that we all know John Wayne won World War II on his own because we've seen the films. That's true. You have to remember that neither John or Mimi and Julia, none of them are with us, and no one was there taking notes about the conversations, right? So it's a genuine attempt to explain the influence of of Julia and Mimi on John's later life and his songwriting. And I think it's a very good attempt to do that. And the Quarrymen, as you noticed, appear in the background. And Brad Pitt, unfortunately, was unable to play the banjo. And the other guys spent ages in makeup, but they did that. The only real fault of the whole film was actually they were far too good. The musicians were far too good. No, I mean that's
Len Garry was far too small.
Yeah. We never jumped around like they did. Basically, we never jumped around like they did because we just sort of stood still and looked mean, moody, and magnificent and played.
We didn't swear.
And we didn't swear like that.
Well, you must have done, but I didn't.
Well, you were too busy chewing gum. I was swearing, and you were playing chewing gum.
Yeah.
But has music still played an important part in your lives as it was in the 50s when you were listening to Big Mama Thornton and all those other American
These two, because for me, I'm joking. Well, you like music, don't you? I'm really turning on to Mozart, actually, to be honest with you.
The answer to that is no, it never played a big part in my life. I mean, once I stopped playing with the Quarrymen in early 1959, I put my drum kit on top of the wardrobe, and I never looked at it again for another 40 years. So I had a proper job, and I just got on and lived a proper life, a normal life. We got married, I had daughters. Now my granddad, that's it.
But I have to ask a question that I think is in a lot of people's minds looking at this film and knowing the story. Let's say that it's 1966 and the Beatles have played Shea Stadium. Did you ever have one of those moments when you're at home having a tea and saying, that could have been me?
No, we were winning the World Cup in 1966.
Except we did play Shea Stadium. We were invited to Shea Stadium by the then stadium manager, and there was nobody actually there.
No, there was two.
I think there were two. There were two
Yeah,
ushers. He got some cricket gear out for us, because Len was a big cricket
My
fan.
idea, of course.
And we played cricket on the diamond at Shea Stadium. We got photographs of it, and we posed with our guitars.
So we
on
have
the place.
the headline, the Quarrymen played Shea Stadium.
And a few years later, we were actually supposed to be playing before a concert, so we got thousands of CDs shipped in and stuff like this. And 2 days before the concert, they pulled all the pre-match entertainment, pre-game entertainment, which was, for various reasons which I won't bother going into, nothing to do with us. And then when we arrived, they were really very nice to us. We had all the Mets caps and everything, and they filmed us and put us on the great big screen, and they played our CD, and a 747 took off from LaGuardia, went right over the stadium, and totally drowned the CD. So we got that was
Quite a success, really, wasn't it?
And then, funnily enough, a couple of nights ago we played Radio City in New York, and we met Sid Bernstein, and he was in his wheelchair, and he was a really lovely guy. He was smiling, and because our tour manager Tom Mulkey had the idea that when we were going to play Shady Stadium.
No, it's the altitude.
It's a Champagne.
It's 5,000 feet. Come on. And your jet lag.
And so he had the idea of us going on stage, and then Sid coming on stage and saying, I contracted you guys to work at Shea Stadium, not to play at Shea Stadium, and he's going to hand us all a broom. However, it never happened, but there you go.
So again, I just want to remind you, we do have microphones here. If you have any type of question, please feel free to.
Please don't be shy.
Down the line. In fact, let's just go right to this guy right here. Go ahead.
I think he's going, that guy. He's not going for a microphone.
A few years back, Cynthia Lennon came to speak to a group of folks in Colorado, and a question was put to her about John. And I can't remember exactly what the question was, but she ended up saying something like, if it hadn't been for the Beatles, John might have ended up a homeless person.
A what person?
Homeless.
Homeless.
Her feeling was that although she loved him, that he was a tragic person, and that he hadn't been able to realize his dream of music, that she didn't think it amounted to much of anything. I'd like to get your guys' opinion on that, if you have it.
I think that's pretty heavy for us. Pretty heavy for us, that one. It's a bit deep. My feeling of John is that if he hadn't gone to the Beatles, that he'd been quite happy just carrying on as a quarryman. Might have ended up as a regular job and music on the side.
Mind you, he was
John was just having a lot of fun. Sorry, was I talking while you were interrupting? He does it a lot. He was a great one at school.
Well, you pause for breath, that's your John was a brilliant caricaturist.
Over to you, Rod.
Oh, thanks, Cole. There's a Rod Davis show, folks. John was a brilliant caricaturist, and he could have made a fortune as a very acid caricaturist if he wanted. If you've seen the pictures of himself, and of Pete Shotton, and of the other teachers at Quarrymen School, you'd realise what a brilliant artist he was, a caricaturist, and he could have had a career as that. Go on, Len, your take.
He touched on that a little bit.
I mean, to be fair enough,
you so much, Bobby. Carry on.
To be fair enough, Sophia did sleep in him. We didn't actually do that, so I don't know.
Let's go to Craig over here.
I was wondering, how many CDs do you guys have out besides the two that are out front that you guys are selling here?
How many
Is there-
CDs?
How many? Oh, CDs.
There's only the two. We've only made 2 CDs, actually.
Only two. What about LPs? Did you guys make any
LPs?
You're an LP image.
How good do you think we are? Colin is on 2 tracks. Colin is on 2 tracks.
Ask us that after the concert. Why we don't make an LP.
Colin is on 2 tracks of the anthology, track 3 and track 4. And we'll talk about that later. But you may be thinking about a CD called Open for Engagements. Well, in the early 90s, before we got back together, which was 1997, the piano player John Doddslow had a go at getting several of us back together, but some of us were working And eventually it was just him and me and some other musicians on the open for engagements. But when we got back together, we felt that that wasn't the right way to go, and we felt that we should play the stuff we played in 56 to 59. The same sort of style, and that's what we did, because they were the only songs we could remember, basically.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm really looking forward to hearing you guys play tonight, and I work in music.
I'm looking forward to playing.
Thank you. Great time.
And let's take one more question, and then we're going to get to music. Go ahead.
A few years ago, I read that Paul had taught John how to tune the guitar. Is that true, or is that just a rumor, or some wild...
This is a favourite hobby horse of mine.
Okay.
So while the other two guys go to sleep because they're bored witless, I'll explain to you. John and the rest of us played banjo chords as taught by Julie in the film, right? And we used to use a pitch pipe, a banjo pitch pipe, right? We've been playing for about a year. There is no way we could have got by without being able to tune the instruments. We didn't tune them to guitar chords because John and Eric didn't play guitar chords. Paul turned up, yes, he showed John how to tune the guitar like a guitar. Right? Simple. Simple. America. Simple. That's the explanation of it.
Thanks.
I will go into full detail if you buy me a pint in the bar afterwards.
We take about 3 hours. Which is a great segue, because these guys are going to play some music for you. We're going to hear a little bit of skiffle, a little bit of early rock and roll, some Beatles stuff, other original stuff of yours. We're going to take about 10 minutes real quick to get the stage set up. But stick around, because you are going to see history happen right here on this stage. Glory to God.
Some of you are going to come up on stage.
And out in the lobby, they do have those CDs, the poster we just showed, and these guys are going to donate 20% of the profits from those sales to fire relief here in Boulder. So feel free to enjoy the merchandise table while we take a quick 10-minute break, and then come back in, because we are going to rock on this stage. We'll be right back.